My name's Roki Castro, and I'm on the E Squared management team along with my esteemed colleagues Sandy Boone, Randy Richard Glutz, Jason Rice, Patty Singleton, and our two wonderful teachers, Mr. Heatwall and Mrs. Lane. We welcome you all to the 14th anniversary of Career Partners E Squared Finals. Teams, do we have all your teams? Raise your hands, please, for me. All right, you've made it this far. Congratulations. Take a deep breath. This is going to be a cakewalk for you, I promise. Today, we will hear the presentations of 5 amazing high school teams that have been working since January to impress our venture capitalists. A big thank you to Patty Singleton for making today's programs. I hope you all found copies of the programs today. In our program, you'll see our winners through the years and a brief introduction of today's finalists. You will also see our request regarding cell phones. So please, if you haven't done so already, turn them off. And other devices such as iPads, laptops, except for judges and staff can leave their laptops open. And do not use them until all presentations have been delivered. Please refrain from talking until presentations are complete and the judges have finished their commentary. In the interest of complete fairness, there must be no communication between members of the audience and the teams that have not yet made their presentation. Teams may be disqualified for inappropriate communication, so let's just not make that an issue, please. Everyone understand? Thank you. Please take note of our Career Partners sponsors. We'll have them on the screen throughout the morning and in between presentations. We cannot do this event without their generosity, so we thank all of you that have contributed over the years to our organization. You will see pictures of this year's E Squared teams and their journey since January. Here's a brief recap. We started by randomly selecting teams and immediately headed out to Verdun for a team building event. Students then visited the George Washington Carver Center, where students toured the Carver 4-County Museum, the Food Enterprise Center, and the agricultural facilities there. They met with subject matter experts from the History Museum, Virginia Cooperative Extension, minority and veteran farmers of the Piedmont to learn about food systems, the Carver Center resources, and social entrepreneurism and social investing and other meaningful community initiatives. You see, this semester the students were required to incorporate an aspect of social entrepreneurism into their business plan, aiming not to only create a profitable business, but also provide good for the community at large. Students attended workshops on how to write a business plan, to find out what the heck a business plan was, and as well as marketing, finance, and oral presentations. E Squared founders, Chuck Jury, Mike Dale, give us a hand, please. Thank you very much. These two gentlemen are the founders of this amazing program that you'll see today, and they continue to give their time to us. In return, have returned for the last couple years to do a marketing and financial review mix-up with the teams. Our amazing coaches, who we have listed in the program, coaches that are here today, please raise your hand as well. Let's give them a round of applause. These coaches gave countless hours of their time, weekly, sometimes daily, to help guide these students through this process and to learn about starting a business. And the students, while they're researching, writing, editing their business plans, and meeting together in person, it was amazing. The transformation in these students is tremendous and awe-inspiring. I wish that all of you could have participated in the journey to truly experience E Squared. We are also joined today by 7 highly qualified judges, Sharks. You're going to have a tough job selecting this year's winner. In order to stay on schedule, I refer to the program, which includes more information about their bios and backgrounds. Honestly, we could be here for days if I went through each of your resumes, but we can all feel the intellectual horsepower in the room today. It's phenomenal. So I'm going to read from left to right, and let's welcome our judges. Mr. Norm Loudermilk, who is founder, CTO of Looking Glass. Mr. Raymond Knott, market president of Atlantic Union Bank. Mr. Xavier Richardson, who is senior vice president, head of development for Mary Washington Healthcare. Ms. Sherry Landry, president of the Wellness Foundation. Mr. Ed Dalrymple, President of Chemung Contracting, Cedar Mountain Stone. Ms. Marsha Marsh, retired former COO of the World Wildlife Fund. And Mr. Corey Ritchie, founder and owner of Graze to Griddle. So this time, I'm going to turn the program over to Randy Richard Lutz, Director of Career and Technical Education for Culpeper County Public Schools, who will give an overview of the morning.
Good morning. It is such a pleasure to welcome you to the Culpeper Technical Education Center, also known as CTEC. We opened in the fall, and we're just so proud to be able to have our 14th annual E-Squared competition here. So welcome, and I hope if there's some break in time or even after we're over, if you want to walk through, Mr. Summerscales and I can make that happen, but welcome. There are a few other people I'd like to thank that this doesn't happen. If there are members of the Career Partners Board here, if you could all stand, please. Thank you. When you came in, there was a bookmark back there. If you didn't get that bookmark, I encourage you to get that. And you can see all of the programs. Career Partners has 7 programs now. E-Squared has been the flagship program for 14 years. And since, we've added 6 other programs we're really proud of. And on there, you can also see our website. And you can go there and learn more about these fantastic programs. So thank you to our board, because without them, this wouldn't happen. Also, our principals, our school board members, our other elected officials, they're going to be in and out this morning. I want to do a huge thank you to Dr. Brads and Mr. Hammond, and Mr. Hammond's back there in the corner. They really are our biggest cheerleaders and support staff, and can't thank you enough. Roki has mentioned coaches, but coaches, parents, sponsors, again, it takes all of us, all of you, to make this successful. Our prelim judges, we had 8 tremendous prelim judges this year, and we're so thankful for them. Our teachers, I know that Roki mentioned them, but I want you to really see them, and I want the judges to see them. So Beth and David and Kathy, I need you 3 to come up here. I want you up here. I've never brought them up front before. I've always just let them wave, but I'm not letting them get off easy this year. And this is why. For the last 2 years, these 3 folks pivoted. And when the rest of the world was shutting down and school systems not doing things like this, these 3 said, we're going to carry on. And they got their kids to carry on. And E-Squared happened both years through the pandemic. It was virtual. It was much harder to do virtual than it is to do it live. So the amount of time that these 3 put in, David, Beth, and Kathy, unmatched. So I thank you. I know your students thank you. So round of applause, please. So the management team, I can't say enough about Chuck and Mike. Everybody knows who Chuck and Mike is. You don't even have to say their last names. You say Chuck and Mike, and you know who that is. But Chuck Jury and Mike Dale, amazing folks to work with that truly managed this program and made it happen for many years. Then, someone we haven't mentioned is Karen Carroll and Sandy Boone, followed in their footsteps. And Karen, I want to recognize you. There she is. And so when Karen said no more, Roki stepped in. Oh, okay. He was voluntold. Also want to recognize Jason Rice here on the corner and Donovan O'Brien, who got away from me. They're in charge of our IT department and just wonderful people to work with. Our proctor for today is Miss Sue Jenkins over here. Thank you, Sue. Sue is retiring this year. She has worked in education in Culpeper County Public Schools for 43 years. She, however, is not retiring from E Squared because they will tell you you never really can get away. But she'll always come back for us. And I know we have at least one previous winner, maybe more than that in the audience. If you're a previous winner, I want you to stand, please. And lastly, our students. I want the students to stand. Thank you. So just to give you, this is how I describe E Squared. We start in January, and these students learn what college students learn over years. We teach them to them in a couple months, and I say we do it with a fire hose, literally. It's so quick, and they're like sponges, and they take it all in. And this year, these kids are particularly special. Again, they've come back from school not looking like it ever looked to them, and they have given 100% to this. Their teachers are so proud of them. I've never heard so many positive comments from prelims judges to the principals of their schools, students. People are really proud of you. So thank you. I know it is a lot of extra work that you put into this class. It's like no other elective you take. And we recognize that, and we thank you for doing it. All right, so how this works. Students will draw the order in a minute, and the first team will set up, and then they'll formally be introduced, and they'll go. They have 15 minutes to do a presentation, and then 10 minutes where our judges will ask them questions. The second, third, fourth, and fifth teams will not watch any teams go until they've actually gone themselves. I want you to know, and this is really key, 60% of the scoring is already done. Our judges score their written business plan, which takes up the bulk of their semester ahead of time. Those scores are in, so that 60% is done. What you're going to see today in their oral presentations is 40% to make up the 100% of their score. All right, so we are ready to get going. I need, when I'm done, all the students to go back to the waiting room, and our first team can go ahead and get set up. We're excited. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege to introduce Mindful.
Is this working? All right. Good morning, everybody. We are Mindful. My name's Michaela.
My name is Morgan.
My name is Dakota Brown.
And my name is Taylor Dietz.
I'm the CEO.
I'm the CFO.
I am the CMO.
And I'm the COO.
And this is Mindful. Just like any other business, Mindful began with a problem. So what's the problem, you may ask? The problem we found is that American physical health is at an all-time low. This was proven by the UNICEF and the CDC. After conducting our own research, we found that mental health is the biggest thing holding Americans back from achieving their physical health goals. So what's our solution? Our solution is Mindful. Mindful is an online subscription-based company that provides workout plans, nutrition plans, optional meal prep, and mental health support. Here's a quote we got from our fitness coach over at Eastern View High School, Brian Lowry. Mindful is an excellent tool that can help bring balance to your physical health and, in turn, help your mental health. Couple the exercise and meal plans with the mental health support by certified professionals, and you have a product that I highly recommend. So what do we offer? Just like stated before, we offer fitness plans, nutrition plans, meal prep, and mental health support. Our mental health support is going to be provided through online counselors, in online support groups, and online video calls. Our meal prep will be provided through our affiliate, HelloFresh. Our nutrition plans are provided for a period of a month, and so are our fitness plans.
Our primary market is from ages from 18 to 44, and we got this from studies from the Econ Gym, Numerator, and the CDC, and we also provided our own surveys. And we noticed that a lot of the problems we're facing here in America are in this age range, and especially, for example, with veterans. Also, Mindful was created for the idea for helping our youth, which is why our secondary market is with the younger generations here. And we want to donate 50% of our profits back to youth here in the United States. And how do we compare to our competitors? Mindful here, we provide 6 different platforms with physical activity, nutrition plans, mental health, engagement, meal prep, and our support groups, compared to other companies who will only supply 2 or 3 of those. And with how we compare with our pricing, Mindful has a very competitive pricing, just depending on what exactly you want to buy. When everyone else, either if you buy one thing or 2 things, it's going to be more expensive than what we have all combined together.
When it comes to our market size, we looked at all the industries we fall under. We fall under online fitness, online mental health support, online meal prep and plan, and we decided to round down to our smallest market. So our total market size is 64 million, and we expect to capture 0.5% of our market share for 320,000 people in our first year.
Our marketing strategy really relies on social media, as we will be on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are going to also do sponsorships with people who we think that will represent our company very well. But our biggest thing here is just to have a warm, welcoming, and judge-free atmosphere.
When it comes to our marketing budget, in order to reach this share that we expect to capture, we'll be spending $15,000 a month on our advertising. This will include our social media and sponsorships, and it will allow us to reach 3 million people each year.
Some of the marketing pricing that we have, just depending on like what our social media will be spent on, will just depend on our CPC, which is our cost per click, and our cost per mile. So pricing will just range on what exactly we want our people to have.
Our influencers and sponsorships will be making a certain amount of money depending on the type of content they create, as well as the volume of their following. As you can see here, our pricing is competitive. You can spend as little as $25 a month up to $150 a month, including the meal prep add-on.
Our business is going to be run completely online. We think this would be better for our customers and our employees due to the pandemic that's been going around with all the online businesses that have been happening. And our management team, also our executives, will be meeting once a month at Elevate. Here at Mindful, our staff consists of fitness professionals, nutrition professionals, mental health professionals, our tech support team, customer service reps, our management team, and our department heads. Our business advisors are Reagan Ketter and Jeb Carroll, and all of our department heads will double as our consultants as well. Because we are in the health industry, we will have a close relationship with a local law firm, Gayhart & Willis PC, and every single one of our employees will be subject to HIPAA.
When it comes to our sales and expenses, there's a really big part that I want to harp on for you guys. After our startup, we anticipate a 9-month period before our sales begin. This is a quote we got from Roki Castro about how long our web development and our app development is going to take. So our first year sales seem pretty low. That's because it's only 3 out of 12 months of the year. For the rest of our sales and expenses, we will be spending a large sum of money on our salary and payroll expenses, and our other expenses will consist of a variety of startup costs, legal fees, and our technology fees. Our projected ROI is pretty high. We are asking for a $500,000 investment with 10% equity in Mindful. By year 2, you'll have all your money back and more. We are Mindful, dedicated to making our communities feel better, physically and mentally.
Okay, we are going to go into the 10-minute questions, and I'm going to send this mic over to Norm, and we'll start with you, sir.
All right. Well, good morning. Great work. Couple comments and then really just one question. I'll give my fellow panelists a good amount of time. First of all, love the online focus for this, both from a marketing standpoint, with 100% social media marketing. That's great, probably the most efficient approach. And also a business plan for a company that is 100% online. This is awesome. Love to see it.
Thank you.
One of the things that I noticed in your presentation was that you selected 50% of your profits to go back to the community. That's a really high number, and I think an awesome number too. But how did you arrive at that 50% number?
So, as teenagers, of course, we sympathize with other teenagers and we understand the issues that our fellow youth are going through. So, our biggest goal with this company was to help our youth. Even though we couldn't make that our target market due to financial difficulties, we felt as though we could donate 50% of our profits to truly reach who we wanted to with this idea.
All right, again, great job, and I thought y'all did a really good job in developing out your plan, but also your budget. A couple comments and then my hard question. First of all, I love the idea of using an influencer for your target market that you're really trying to focus on. I think that is a great strategy to implement, especially with your online presence. Big question I have for you is you're marketing a subscription-based business, which has a high customer acquisition cost, but even a more difficult client retention cost. How have y'all thought about the client retention? How do you keep it fresh?
I'm not quite understanding what you're asking. Is
To
there
once you enter the subscription, a lot of subscription-based businesses have a high cancellation rate, so really having to keep it fresh, keep adding new value to keep the subscribers still engaged and subscribing to the service. to
Yeah,
meet your
so,
revenue targets.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Our fitness professionals and our nutrition professionals, they're not gonna continuously cycle through the same exact thing. As the customer develops and as the customer forwards with their subscription, everything's gonna change. They're gonna get different workout plans, they're gonna get different nutrition plans, it's not gonna be recycled.
I would just like to add something to that quickly. Especially with our social media, we're hoping that with the influencers we're having, we'll keep bringing those people in if they're seeing high quality celebrities use it also.
I want to commend you for this phenomenal presentation. Certainly addresses an issue that's affecting communities at all age groups. It appears that there are low barriers to entry. In other words, this could be perhaps replicated by someone else easily. How do you anticipate protecting your market share going forward?
We believe that since we're combining everything, we're definitely going to stand out because as you can see, as I listed from the other industries, usually our competitors fall under one of those things rather than all of them. Here at Mindful, we really stress that we combine all of these and provide just one safe, secure place for our customers to reach it.
Thank you.
Good morning, and thanks for a great presentation. Y'all spoke so well, so clearly and confidently. It was really nice to hear, so thank you. I love the focus on health and wellness, and certainly believe that you hit on a real need. So I was a little confused about the role of the therapist. Can you just talk a little bit more about that? Is there an opportunity for individual support for members, or is it more of a group? I just wasn't quite clear on that.
So pretty much when it comes to our therapist, there's going to be a online text chat group that's going to be ran. That's just going to be the members. But then once a week, they're going to meet for an hour in a group therapy session where the therapist will hop on Zoom calls and invite all of the members of the support group into the Zoom call. And they just kind of talk about their problems, figure out different ways to cope with it, and just like a normal therapy session.
All right, thank you. In looking through your documents, it looked to me like you're going to have between 35,000 and 50,000 members. Are you going to be able to, that's a lot of people to handle, especially when you start out. Are you going to be able to keep up with that with the team you've put together?
Yeah, we truly believe that our fitness professionals and our mental health professionals are going to be able to take care of all of this. I think one common misconception that we found within our business plan and within our preliminary judges is that they believe that our management team is the only team working. We actually have a completely separate team of a bunch of fitness professionals, nutrition professionals, and mental health professionals that are going to take care of those customers. Our management teams are just our higher-ups.
Great. I was really impressed with the scope of your proposal, one that was national in ambition, and I love the youth element of it. So congratulations both in the written and your presentation. That was very impressive. I had a question. So I've touched a lot of those apps that you guys had mentioned and thought, this is really curious, one place I can go to. But I really wondered about when some of the others advertise, they come back and tell you about sort of the professionals that stand behind that. And you mention your therapists and others. Have you thought about sort of in the initial marketing and advertising, do you have some names or some noted people that are going to be part of that platform?
We thought about just locally right now that we had one of the students here at our school, his brother he's TikTok famous right now, but he is really into fitness and stuff. So we thought even just him from like locally, that could be one person we can use as a celebrity to promote on TikTok. But then right now it could just be literally anyone who fits in within the nutritional part, physical, and even mental aspect.
Along with that, there's a celebrity also on TikTok named Leanna Deeb. She's actually a very influential and very inspiring person. She always talks about her body dysmorphia and her issues that have come along with her physical health journey, and I feel like she would be a great fit for our company.
So very, very impressed with the presentation, and I'm particularly impressed with the fact that you identify social media as the platform to invest your time from an advertising perspective. As opposed to some traditional methods, it's very encouraging to see that you all recognize that is the way to go in order to impact and touch your potential customer base. Coming out of the last 3 years, companies are starting to realize that they're having to compete to become employers of choice, where previous to that they may not have had to fight with other companies and or competitors. Can you tell me, kind of a little bit going off from Mr. Loudermilk's concern about the 50% investment back into the community, can you tell me how you would use your profits to create a culture within Mindful as an organization that you stand above other employers, that you're offering yourselves to be an employer of choice? How would you go about doing that for your team?
So when it comes to our salary and payroll, since our team isn't exactly full-time, we actually consider them freelancers. We're paying them a very competitive pay. We're paying them $10,000 over the national average salary. Is there any other questions for us?
There's time for a couple more.
So I'm going to circle back. It's a little bit repetitive, but I think Norm or someone had asked the question about barriers to entry, or maybe Javier had mentioned that one. Have you anticipated what you would do if, for example, Noom said, ooh, that integration idea of that team is brilliant. We're going to take several million off our budget and just go do that. How have you thought through what those sharks might do?
So pretty much, even if we're another company and were to do that, we still believe that since we're marketing such to a high area and we're placing so much investment and so much money into our marketing, we believe that we're still going to be able to capture who we're capturing. Our marketing budget worth $15,000 a month is going to reach us 3 million people a year. We're only trying to capture 320,000. It's very possible that we could even go over that number.
We have time for one more.
So going back to the question of employer of choice, you might be surprised to find out that oftentimes employees, believe it or not, would actually turn away a certain increase in compensation because they find an organization that they love the culture of that organization, even more than getting, say, $10,000 in increase in pay. Can you tell me what are some of the things that you would consider as an organization from a work-life balance for the people that work for you, highly qualified therapists and other individuals, health professionals? What would be some of the things that you would want to incorporate into your organization that helps to promote a work-life culture that is different than others?
I would hope that when working, like if I was going to be working anywhere, especially like with Mindful, I would hope just that what we take here with our mental aspect and everything is what we also work with outside of our environment. And I just hope that like any workplace could have what we want to promoting, that even if say you're having an off day or something like that, that you are able to take a break and step off it. Just like we have people paying for therapies, but also our employers should also be able to use anything that we provide here also.
Along with that, our employers, like Dietz mentioned earlier, we're providing everything online. So that makes it a whole lot more convenient for our employees and our customers to come towards us. When it comes to our employees, they'll be able to do all of this from home. They'll be able to do all of this wherever they want to. They can run it in a coffee shop. They can run it from their home desk. They can run it in bed. They can run it anywhere that they want to.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mindful.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to introduce Culinary Hearts.
Good morning. We are Culinary Hearts. Our slogan is together forever, never apart, maybe in distant, but never at heart. My name is Jason Herrera. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Culinary Hearts.
My name is Brady Allen. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Culinary Hearts.
My name is Nathan Amos, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer of Culinary Hearts.
Culinary Hearts is a meal subscription service, a wellness check service disguised as a meal delivery service. Many people have elderly friends or relatives at home that they can't take care of, but we can by providing them with meals and wellness checks every week. We are asking for $175,000 for 25% equity in our company.
Our market consists of two different demographics. It consists of the elderly who will be consuming these meals and the sandwich generation. What is the sandwich generation? It is those who have kids of their own that they need to care for and also need to provide assistance to their parents. Our 40,000 people are over 18 in Culpeper, and 16% of those are 65 and older. And we plan to capture 4% of that 6,400 to give us our 260 total targeted people.
If you would like to order in our website or app, we have it right there in the bottom selection, everything that you need. And then in our website, we have it all on the left. If you would like to subscribe to our plans, we have the sign up on the left hand. We have sign up, our menus, plans, and pricing. Our menus you can check to see if it would fit your liking. And then after choosing your plans, your meals, you can then choose your plans and check the amount of days you would like to get your meals. About our delivery. We have trackable delivery through the app. So anytime you or your loved one is getting a meal, you can check it right there through the app. Drivers make contact. We have wellness checks as we deliver the food. So as soon as we deliver the food, it is then get recorded, and then when it is all done, it then gets sent to a loved one to make sure that their elderly is doing well. And they also have a split payment option. So if you or any other sibling would like to pay, they can pay half all together and then get the meals to the loved ones. We have a wellness checklist. The wellness checklist should last around 10 to 15 minutes for each customer, because that's designed time for us. So it could be a good time for our drivers. We can also have personal questions. So say if you'd like your loved one to have other questions asked, you can then add it right there in our selection, but we also already have a selection there for you.
We have two different meal plans for our business. We have a 3-day plan and a 5-day plan. Our 3-day plan is priced at $49.99 per week, and our 5-day plan is priced at $84.99 per week. And with these different plans, you're getting the meals that you customize, and you get weekly wellness checks with each of those meals on the days that you choose these meals to be delivered.
Here we have a sample menu of some of the meals offered at Culinary Hearts. A lot of these can be made in bulk and separated into smaller portions as seen here. So we can maximize the amount of meals we make per chef per day, and each of them comes in one of these boxes with a side of vegetables to keep the meals healthy and nutritious. There's lots of social benefits for Culinary Hearts. Confidence at home. By allowing the recipients and the subscribers to stay at home, they can know that the meals are coming to the elderly, and that makes them feel okay. Reduces loneliness. As you get up in age, you might not be able to go out as much and socialize, but with each driver making the same delivery to the same location week after week, they're building that bond with the recipients and making new friends. Reduces costs by preventing them from going to nursing homes or long programs. They can just sign them up for Culinary Hearts, which is cheaper and affordable. And it saves taxpayer dollars by, instead of local law enforcement needing to be paid to do these wellness checks, we do that for them. We have 3 main competitors for Culinary Hearts, such as HelloFresh, Blue Apron, and Freshly. They're all large-scale companies, and most of them don't offer the meals made. They send you the ingredients, and the customers have to make them themselves. None of them offer the wellness checks upon delivery like us. There are nonprofit and faith-based organizations in Culpeper, but we'd like to work with them instead of against them to feed as many people as we can. There's lots of different ways that we can promote our products, such as TV commercials, radio stations, and newspapers for our recipients generation, as well as the younger generation, which we have apps such as Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We can put targeted ads on these apps to reach our target market, as well as creating accounts to engage with followers. But the biggest way we can communicate our product is through local events. Culpeper is a small local community with lots of events that we can engage in and spread the word. We have partnerships as well, such as the hospital here in Culpeper County. We have a written endorsement that allows our service to be recommended to discharged patients as a resource. We talked to DARS and Culpeper County law enforcement to make sure that our wellness checks are up to standard, and that include everything we need. We will also have local police officers ride with our drivers on the first couple times for the deliveries to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And Merchants Grocery Company will be our main supplier of our ingredients.
Our location is located at 306 South Main Street, and it is a great first location for us because it is right in the middle of Culpeper. And since we will be driving all 4 sides, it will be easier for the 4 drivers to drive there. We have a full commercial kitchen there, so we'll have the space we need to prep and cook everything. We have cold and dry storage, so if we could keep anything there, we can keep it and then use it for the next day. And we have a set work schedule and working agreement for the workers. We have certain days that we will work. Yes.
For our first year, we have our total projected sales at $385,000, and these are the combined sales of subscribers receiving 3 and 5 meals per week. And after direct costs of $115,000, our net profit is expected to be around $59,000 in the first year. In our third year, we will be expanding to Fauquier County, and our total sales are projected to be around $705,000. And our direct costs will be $210,000, and these are increasing because of the additional personnel and inventory needed. After direct costs, our net profit is expected to be around $93,000 in the third year. In year 5, we'll be expanding to Madison and Orange County, and our total sales will increase to $1.1 million. Our direct costs are estimated to be around $338,000, and these are increasing because of the bigger customer base that will need to be served. And after our direct costs, our net profit is estimated to be around $150,000. These charts show how much it costs to make these meals per week. As you can see, to make 3 meals per week, it costs $15, and they're priced at $49.99. And to make 5 meals, it is priced costs $25 to make and priced at $84.99. And as shown in our chart to the right, our investors should expect to receive full return on investment by the 5th year.
Thank you guys for your time. We'd love to hear any questions if you have any.
Thank you. We're going to start on that end down there.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. I love the slogan. It was catchy. I said it several times as I was moving through your business plans. It's very catchy. And I really, really enjoy the integration of food with wellness checks. I thought it was a very solid differentiator compared to your competition. One question I would have is on the cost of the product. Can you tell me a little bit about what methodology or what approach you took to determine the cost of the product?
We actually took some of our sample meals, we broke down how much it would cost to make each meal, and then we priced that as how many meals we'd be getting out. The biggest cost for the meals is also training our employees. They're paying partly for the meals, but they're also paying for the wellness checks, which is why we have it priced such as that.
Right. So I'm in the sandwich generation. The guilt premium is on me. So when I read it, I thought, if you're in Cincinnati, Ohio, this would be really interesting. But so I commend you for that. I also commend you for the outreach you did with whether it was law enforcement or aging institutions and others that really came through in the plan that you'd done a lot of homework. So congratulations on doing that. So I had a question for you about fuel costs. You mentioned it there, but we've got the prep of the meals. But with both delivery in Culpeper and then moving into Fauquier County and kind of the geographic reach, how did you think about fuel costs on a sort of per item basis?
Actually, fuel costs, as you know, in the 3rd and 5th year, we're expanding to those counties. So fortunately, we wouldn't have to be driving from Culpeper to Fauquier to deliver the meals. We'd be driving from a more centralized location in Fauquier and then again in Orange and Madison in the 5th year.
I agree. I think some of the costs are things you need to be concerned with because costs are a little bit out of control. I want to ask something that's not in your report. Have you been part of the culinary program in this school at CTEC?
No, sir.
You listed the chef as one of your board members. I wondered how you had the connection with that. You had the Jay Cohen?
Just referenced him. We wanted to, we talked about him early on about our business plan. We pitched our stuff to him, and he agreed with it.
Okay, thank you.
I, too, am in that sandwich generation, and if you were in New Hampshire, then I would be using you. And I think that's part of the challenge. So my parents would not pay for this themselves, as many elderly people, are not people who are going to spend money on this kind of thing. It just goes against how they were raised. But I'll spend it. But I'm here and they're there. So that's, I think, a challenge. How will you market to family members who are outside, whose loved ones are in Culpeper, but the families are elsewhere, and they're the ones who would be buying your service?
That's a great question. We've actually, after our 5th year, we'd plan to move out, and at some point we'd be able to cover multiple states. So if you wanted to be in another state, you'd be able to order it for your relatives. I agree with you. I have grandparents who live in Pennsylvania, so I know my mom would love this idea as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for that great presentation, and I'm impressed with your name, your logo, and your slogan and everything. It really fits in well. I also do a lot of volunteer work in my community, and one of the things I do weekly is that we deliver meals to the elderly, and we have volunteers who actually will deliver them. And what I found is just what you're saying, that they develop a relationship with the persons, the families, and they also notice things like the doorbell's not working. They go, the next week they go and fix the doorbell, and then they become very attached. So I think this is really a great concept. One of the things that I struggled with was understanding the salaries, and certainly salaries are something, and compensation is something that's going to be a challenge as the workforce either shrinks or it becomes more demanding. But it was interesting that the chefs were being paid $17.50 an hour, and the drivers were being paid $20 per hour. How did you come up with those numbers? Because it seems like the more skilled individuals are being paid less than the less skilled ones.
We'd actually consider hiring lunch workers at Culpeper County High School in Eastern View. They know how to make the meals as fast as they can in the most amount of time. And given that they'd already have a job there, this would be another part-time job, so they don't have to worry about this being their only source of income.
Okay, thank you.
Great job, team. I'll make a comment, and I'll sort of go into my question. I really like the concept. I think it really touches on some needs in the area. Recent community health needs assessment highlighted the fact that access, especially to some of the elderly, being able to get good quality nutrition was a challenge, and in Culpeper and the surrounding counties. So I think that was well done to address that. Also like the socialization piece. My question really sort of gets into the numbers, and in your projections, you notate your mileage expense or cost of mileage, which I did the math, kind of comes up to about 5 miles per day per driver. That's something you probably want to reconsider, and I'm curious how you came up with that, because most of the access needs are folks who are in the more rural areas of the county, not in the town centers themselves. So how did you come up with your mileage estimations?
We kind of looked at a map of Culpeper, and this might be skewed now because, as you know, in February, the gas prices skyrocketed. We've tried to update as best we can, but that's something we'll definitely look into in the future.
Thank you.
So my mom is 80, and in an ironic twist of your target market, I think she would sign up for this to check up on me. So I really like this. I just want to say a few things. I think this idea shows real innovation, real innovative thinking, because it solves a problem that people will pay money to solve. And so, good job on that. And it shows that you really thought through this problem at a deep level, like the split costs. I have a brother, and if we signed up for this for our mother, we would split the cost. I thought that was amazing. And then the personal questions, it just kept getting better as you were presenting, and I was reading your business plan. So really good job. But I did have one question back to my mom. She's 80, but she's super healthy. She's in great shape, and we would not be ready to purchase a subscription like this for her just yet. But every once in a while, it'd be nice to send her a meal and get a wellness check. And I noticed that wasn't in your business plan, a one-off kind of like, one at a time, single purchase. Did you consider that?
Oh, absolutely. We definitely consider that, like a one-time trial to see how you like it. And if they like it, then they can obviously purchase the 3 and 5 meals if needed. But we've definitely considered the one-time option.
Good. And then my final question would really be just to trick my mom. See, she would read right into this if a meal showed up prepared because she likes to cook. Did you also consider like a grocery delivery kind of service with the wellness check built in? Because she wouldn't expect that at all. She'd see fresh groceries and be happy, and wouldn't think anything of the personal questions you were asking. Did you consider an option like that too?
Yeah, we've definitely considered that too, but we want to focus mostly on making meals ourselves. But yes, the groceries are a consideration we've had in mind.
Okay, great. Thanks.
We have time for at least one more question.
One question I'll just sort of ask, going back to the wellness check component, what is the specific training that you would try to give your drivers to make sure that they could address any concerns that they may encounter when they're actually making a delivery? It could be, are they going to be trained in mental health first aid? Are they going to be trained in, some levels of CPR? How are you looking at doing the training?
We have extensive background research. We have training and cooperation with local law enforcement. They're also going to be CPR and AED certified. Each driver will be.
Excellent. Thank you, Culinary Hearts. Congrats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Fresh Forward.
I sure wish there was a place to find a nice healthy meal somewhere in Culpeper.
Well, have you heard of Fresh Forward? We're a fleet of food trucks founded by Rachel Dillon, Jacob Mills, and Alexa Galvez. Our primary purpose is to provide healthy and affordable meals to Culpeper community. Our uniqueness is that we do this from so-called ugly produce, or produce that would not be used. I know, right? Not fair. Everyone always says it's on the inside, not the outside, that matters. That's why our crew is giving this so-called ugly produce a second chance. If reducing the amount of food waste in Culpeper, providing healthy and affordable meals, and being an eco-friendly food truck isn't enough social impacts for you, listen to this. We're also donating a percentage of every single sale back to local food banks to help those that can't get an adequate amount of food. Let us dive into the details of our food truck fleet. Hello, I'm Rachel Dillon. I'm a senior at Culpeper County High School. I chose E Squared because I'm majoring in business at University of Lynchburg, and I wanted to get a head start and learn how to start your own business. We've faced many hardships already along the way, as I just got surgery on my ACL and my MCL and had to work remotely with my team.
I'm Jacob Mills. I'm a junior at Culpeper County High School. I'm in 4-H, National Honor Society, and I play lacrosse, and I took E Squared to learn more about what it takes to start a business.
Hello, mi nombre es Alexa Galvez. I'm a 10th grade bilingual student at Culpeper County High School. Not only will I manage one of the food trucks, but I will also help with the customers that are Spanish speaking only. I joined E Squared because of Shark Tank. I really like the competitiveness and the new business ideas proposed on the show. Problem: delicious produce is being wasted because of overproduction and because of its ugly shape or form. Also, healthy meal options is limited and is very expensive. Furthermore, there are people in our community that are facing food insecurity. Food insecurity is delicious food that, with the right quantity and affordability, is hard to gain because of one's current state in life. And this is a problem because this can lead to starvation and hunger.
We've been in partnership with two big hitters in the food industry. Mark Seal told us that around 30% of produce from field farming goes to waste, and Chris Smithers told us that 15 to 18% of food from large distributors goes to waste. We were super surprised to hear how much food is wasted in our community, but we were also happy to see that the more people we talk to in the food industry, the more support we gain for our idea.
Now we've got our problem, so listen to this. Fresh Forward's idea is to make a dent in the amount of unused food waste in Culpeper community by gathering up this ugly produce and turning it into healthy meals that are also affordable for Culpeper. Now to Jacob.
We're asking you for $100,000, and in return, you'll receive a 25% share of our business, and you can expect a full return on your investment by year 5. Your money allows us to put a $10,000 deposit down on all 3 of our food trucks and make 3 months of payment on each of them. It also pays for other things like startup inventory, opening salaries, and our advertising campaign, our soft opening, and our contingency reserves.
Now I'm going to talk to you about our social good. Fresh Forward's first social good option is that it offers affordable and healthy options to Culpeper community. We're also reducing the amount of food waste in Culpeper by sourcing and receiving this unused produce and turning it into healthy meals. We also are an eco-friendly food truck as we have no plastic packaging. As you'll see in your bags, all of our packaging is made from cornstarch. Our utensils are also bamboo, and our water is also made from boxed water. And lastly, our biggest social impact is that we're going to donate a percentage of every single sale to local food banks in Culpeper. Now to Alexa.
Thank you, Rachel. Introducing our partnerships. We have partnered with Martin's, Blue Ridge Growers, Merchants Grocery, and Waterpenny Farm. And with these partnerships, we hope to flourish.
We talked with Chris Smithers, who's the president and CEO of Merchants Grocery, and he really likes our idea. He thinks that it's a great way to get rid of food waste, as he explained to us that they just have pallets of food that they just throw out after it has a dent in the box, or if it's close to the expiration date, they just throw it out, and they know that that's a terrible thing to do because there are people who need this food. So he's agreed to partner with us and give us just all of his food that he cannot sell and put out there, and he's feeling like he's getting rid of his food, but in a useful and helpful way. Now to Jacob.
Narrowing down our target market was a challenge for us and required a lot of thought and consideration. We started off with the population of Culpeper, and from there we took the number of 18 to 65-year-olds in Culpeper because that's the age range we can expect to see at our food truck. Then, from our survey of 18 to 65-year-olds, 83.6% of them said that they would frequently eat at Fresh Forward. And finally, because we're a new food truck and we have to overcome some barriers and gain recognition in our community, we conservatively estimated that we'd capture 0.5% of our potential customers, leaving us with a target market of 1,159 people.
Fresh Forward's primary location will be the food truck lot at Battlefield Ford Automotive, and we will have 2 other trucks that are moving to different events and venues throughout Culpeper and other surrounding communities. We've set up an agreement with Mr. Gary Fay as he's allowing us a free place to park. He's providing us with water, electricity, and use of his commissary commercial kitchen to store all of our goods. Mr. Fay did this because he wants to give back to the community. He loves our food truck idea, and he thinks it's a great way to give back to the community. He also believes that this food truck lot brings him business, and him having the dealership will bring us great business, and he really wants to promote us and help this new food truck.
Our logo was professionally designed by Tony Rozwadowski and KR InDesign. Working with Tony was a great learning experience and allowed us to design a logo that truly fits our business. Alexa is handing you guys our style sheet, and it contains all of our branding information. We believe our logo will be a great marketing tool for us because it can be easily put on t-shirts, ads, stickers, and so much more. And if you look in your bags and on our apparel, you see just some examples of how our logo can be used. And now to Rachel to talk more about our marketing strategy.
Fresh Forward's primary marketing tool will be through social media, as we've already created a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our website. Talking with Maria Riojas, the owner of Burnt Ends, which is also where I'm working, she's led us to understand that social media is a great marketing tool for her and a ton of other small business owners. She said we just have to make sure we keep it positive, but it's a great way to keep our community updated and keep them in touch. We're also going to promote Fresh Forward through website ads, community groups, posters, flyers, newspapers, and any other way that we can promote ourselves to the community. Fresh Forward is going to be extremely involved throughout Culpeper, as we're going to be attending local breweries, 5Ks, wineries, sporting events, teacher work days, weddings, and anything that Culpeper calls us to cater to. We're also going to have our soft opening at all of the Culpeper County Public Schools, as we know that teachers are extremely understanding, and that's a great way to get this new business off the ground. Fresh Forward's involved throughout produce, as we are sourcing all of our food from local farms and local grocery stores. And lastly, we're involved through our customers. We are hoping to create lasting customer relationships and have repeat customers. We will have discount nights, Kids Eat Free, punch cards, teacher discount nights, and veteran discount nights. Here's Alexa.
Now introducing our competition. First off, we have Grace Seguro, as they do not provide eco-friendly packaging. For Chipotle, they do not source the food locally. La Chiapaneca does not reduce food waste in our community. And lastly, Intal Street Tacos does not give back to local charities. Also, it is a benefit for us being next to other food trucks because it provides a variety of food to the community, but will be the more healthier and less expensive option.
We will start a canning operation at Fresh Forward by year 2 to increase our profit and further reduce food waste in our community. Not only is canning a second source of income, it also allows us to deal with any excess produce that we may receive, as it can be easily canned and preserved for later use.
As you can see, these are the photos of our tomatillo salsa. We made this with our wellness teacher, and as you see in front of you, these are our Culpeper caviar and our tomatillo salsa.
We've also considered building a nonprofit arm into our business so that we can work with donors and other foundations to bring meals to areas with high levels of food insecurity. This way we could directly serve meals to people in need. And one example of how we could do this would be taking one of our food trucks to an underserved neighborhood during the summer so that we can ensure that kids have access to healthy meals even when school is out. Our canning operation pairs well with this idea because we can give out canned goods to allow people to continue to have nutritional food even when we're not there. And if you look at the pictures, there's a food truck in Stafford that's doing a similar thing. They're a total nonprofit, and they receive donations from large organizations and farms to directly combat food insecurity in their community. And lastly, we at Fresh Forward are super excited to explore our growth options, provide healthy and sustainable meals for our community, and to continue to build new relationships and grow our business. Thank you for your time, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. All right, we'll start our questions down there with Mr. Ritchie.
First off, I just want you to know that Grace the Griddle will start using eco-friendly packaging at some point in time to be discussed. No, listen, right off the bat, when I look around at first of all, you have the style sheet, you have your brand and logo. The fact that it's not just a logo, that K-Art went down to the level of making sure that she provides the CMYK numbers, the RGB numbers, things like that. All of the collateral presents so well that you understand that that an enterprise like this it's vitally important that if you don't miss that brand and messaging piece, then you're just like anyone else. So very well done on that. Very, very impressed with that. The only question I would have that I have for you would be, how did you go about what methodology did you apply in order to determine what your food costs would be?
So we worked with Waterpenny Farm, and they gave us an estimate that they would give all of their ugly produce to us at an extremely discounted rate, ranging from $1.50 to $2 per pound. And then working with Chris Smithers and Mark Seal, and they told us that they would just give us pallets of food and at free. So we took the average cost. We worked with Maria Riojas, my boss, and she helped us determine the average cost of what our food would be.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Great. So I used to work in Washington, D.C. I don't know if you looked into Sweet Greens, which is a group of Georgetown students that started a make-your-own salad enterprise that has taken off. So I'm like, and what they market is we take food from wonderful local farmers, our local farmers. So I thought your concept was really interesting, and I know food waste is a 30% problem globally, so kudos for working on that. I had a question for you on the traffic. So I'm not familiar with Culpeper. So the food traffic and that sort of thing, when you're looking at your targeting, is there enough volume in the locations that you're talking about to support the numbers that you have?
So our main location is based off of 29, so we'll have some Culpeper residents there and also a lot of travelers visiting that location, and we'll also have other food trucks rotating around at as many events and venues we can, other places in town, to access all the different groups of customers that we can.
A very nice presentation and well done. How are you going to keep yourselves able to compete with other people? Why is Chris going to give you his spoilage and not give it to someone else?
Working with him, so we learned that he would be willing to give us his extra produce because he likes our idea of the social impact and that we're giving back to the community a percentage of every single sale, and he just overall loved all of our social good aspects, and I think that's why we would be his top competitor for all of his extra food waste. Thank you.
And when we talked to him, he didn't really mention that he was giving his food to anyone else, or nobody was really asking for it, so.
You did a really great job on your presentation, both your oral presentation and the slide or PowerPoint, whatever it is. I'm old. Great, really great job. And I love the concept so much. And I chuckled out loud when I was reading in your in your business plan about when you said there's no healthy food options, said virtually every woman you talked to. That cracked me up. So I did just wonder about, I think you said you were going to start with 3 trucks, but then you had a contingency plan for if you didn't need the third one. Did you think about just starting smaller and then growing if it's needed rather than starting with 3? And why did you decide to do that?
We talked with Maria Riojas, the owner of Burnt Ends, and that's what she suggested. She supported that idea. And we thought that 3 would really give us like the ability to get to everywhere we wanted to go with all the events and venues and stuff, and that would really help our sales. So
I agree with all that's been said by said by my fellow judges, and great presentation here today, and great job of even looking at worst case scenarios and everything. My question was, and maybe still is, how do you deal with the image of selling food that is expired or maybe less than desirable at the prices that you are offering? Now, I will say, I'm convinced now that it looks great. But is that going to be a problem with an image, knowing that some of the food that you're using is considered to be expired?
I know obviously making sure the food is top notch is going to be like our top priority. And also in our survey, we had one question asking about people if they'd be willing to eat and pay more, knowing that this food was going to be wasted if we hadn't taken it. And vast majority of them said they'd be perfectly fine with eating it.
Again, I'd have to commend you on your presentation. Your collateral material is phenomenal, and you really love the fact you're on point, on brand. I really have two questions, and the most important question: you give a big guy a jar of food, and you don't give me a spoon. Okay, so I'm looking for my spoon. But really, going back to the canning component that you talked about in your presentation, really was sort of looking at a little bit more in-depth explanation of going to that, because that is a time-consuming process that requires a lot of labor, risk of it not sealing properly, risk of spoilage and that type of thing if you don't seal it properly. What was the mindset behind adding that as an additional component to what looks to be a phenomenal idea around a food truck?
I think our biggest strive to add the canning operation is if we get a large mass of tomatoes or something that we can't use before they're going to go bad, we can easily turn it into salsa and not let it have a bad, not let it go to waste or anything like that. And we have worked with the commissary kitchen at the Battlefield lot, and we've seen the kitchen that is soon to be built at the Carver Center. So we've allowed us to work at both of those places. And this is an easier way to preserve and also to get our name out there as we want to put our salsa and bean dip into local stores maybe in the future. And also giving back to the community, giving back to people that aren't able to get enough food. The canning operation, their food isn't going to go bad if they want to save it.
Only thing I'll add on to that is that I love the idea of your nonprofit concept of being able to provide food for folks with food insecurity. Maybe that canning component could be a part of that piece, because one of the things that we hear from a lot of the food banks is that they get thousands and thousands of pounds of vegetables every year, and because they cannot process them into either sauces or get them canned, they end up throwing those away as well. So that can maybe an add-on to your nonprofit thought. Thank you.
Well, one of the problems of going last is that all the funny comments have already been taken. I was going to lead with the Graze to Griddle eco-friendly packaging. I'm not going to rehash what all of the panel has really said. Your marketing and materials were absolutely beautiful. So what I'll add to that is that as a panel of judges that are evaluating you for an investment, what we see there is good management decisions, because you have had your image professionally designed. It makes your company look bigger than it is now, and helps your brand. And so congratulations on that. It's a good lesson. The only question that I really had was, and it might just be my confusion, I see this beautiful menu over here that outlines all the things that you'd be selling at your truck, but then reading your business plan, it talks about how all your raw materials are coming from, what you call ugly vegetables or waste products. If you don't know what you're going to get on a week-to-week basis from these farms, how do you maintain a regular menu? Like if I want to come every Wednesday and have that Cobb salad, which, by the way, I'm kind of dying for right now, what if you don't have the right materials to make it next week? How do you manage through that?
So obviously it might have to come down to us sourcing from maybe like not ugly food once in a while if we can't. And we've also got summer and winter menus, so that way we can have like an adaptable menu in case, we've got an excess of this certain produce or not enough of this. We can sort of push for different meals of the week or a smoothie of the week or something like that to push it forward to get people to buy the excess produce we have and maybe save some of the stuff we're running low on.
And to add to Jacob, just to make sure we would keep all the traditional items on there, we probably would have to every once in a while get an order from merchants or Cisco or something like that, just for staples that we can't source locally or that would be ugly produce.
Okay.
Thank you.
That is exactly 10 minutes. So thank you, Fresh Forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Spark Adventure Care.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are Spark Adventure Care, and we're introducing a new style of childcare. But before I get started, let me introduce the team. My name is Chris Patel, and I will be the CEO of Spark Adventure Care. My role will be to manage the overall structure of the company. Next, we have Jack Fleming. Jack will be our CFO, and his responsibility will be to create annual financial reports for Spark Adventure Care. To my right, we have Morgan Jenkins, and Morgan's responsibility will be to manage the day-to-day operations as the Chief Operations Officer. Trey Spiller will be our Chief Marketing Officer, and his role will be to create and devise a marketing strategy for Spark Culpeper. Lastly, we have Bryce Claret. Bryce will be our Chief Brand Officer, and his role will be to cultivate relationships with the community. At Spark, we understand the importance of having a diverse team with a variety of skill sets. We believe that our team will be critical in the future growth of Spark. We understand that a good business is one that solves a problem. And at Spark, we aim to solve the problem of childcare. Did you know that there are 3,899 elementary-age students in Culpeper County Public Schools? And through a survey we conducted, we were able to conclude that 68% of them are in need of a quality after-school facility. This number was extremely shocking to us, and we knew we had to do something. Places like in Culpeper, there just aren't enough places to meet this need. Places like CDC and Kids Central are currently operating on wait lists, and parents are forced to find alternative solutions for their children's after-school needs. This is where Spark Adventure Care steps in. At Spark Adventure Care, we aim to create a facility where children will be encouraged to show their creativity, imagination, and their adventurous side. We plan on doing this by hosting interactive workshops where local business owners and instructors will come and teach these students different activities and lessons. We will also have a makerspace. Our makerspace will include 3D printers and many other creative items where students will be encouraged to grow their imagination. And lastly, we will provide tutoring. We believe that tutoring is a fundamental part of a child's education, and we believe that tutoring will allow students to grow both outside and inside the classroom. Now let me hand it over to Jack to speak a little bit more on the finances.
Thank you, Chris. Spark Adventure Care is seeking a $400,000 investment in exchange for a 25% equity stake in our company. With our current projections, if you are to invest in us today, you are set to make a 100% return on your investment by the end of our 4th full year of operations. In addition to this, you will make a cumulative 225% return on your investment by the end of our 5th full year of operations. It is important to us at Spark Adventure Care that we keep you, our investors, in the loop and up to date on where we intend to allocate the funds you invest in us to. Displayed on the screen behind me is the various different categories in which we will allocate these funds to. As you can see, this total comes out to roughly $309,000. The remaining $91,000 will be allocated to our contingency budget. As mentioned on the previous slide and in our written business plan, we will in fact be purchasing the building in which we intend to operate from. We understand that in the early stages of a business, it can be challenging to secure a loan. However, concluding our various conversations with local bankers and local loan officers, we have concluded that we will in fact be able to secure a loan. The decision to purchase the building was not one that came easily to us. We understand there are many risks associated with purchasing a building. However, we believe that we will be here for the long run, and we believe purchasing a building will plant strong roots for our future. The building we wish to purchase is currently for sale for $910,000. However, we will be taking out a loan of just over $1 million in order to pay for our acquisition and renovation cost. The down payment on this loan will be $252,000. Now here's Chris Patel to talk more about our proposed renovations.
Thank you, Jack. So as you guys can see, this is our 2D model. If you guys aren't aware, this is actually the building that Star Exponent was based out of for a couple years, and they're putting it up for sale, and this is our creativity side. Here is some 3D images that we were able to render up on the software. I do want to note that we weren't able to include everything we wanted, but you will be able to see a few fundamental things we want. We'll have our tutoring spaces, our makerspace. In our makerspace, we aim to have 3D printers and a lot more other accessible things where students will be able to really use the facility to grow. Here's our office spaces. That's where all of the 5 executives will operate out of, and that is our free time area. We do want to state that we have been working with the local contractor to make sure that all the regulations for childcare facilities have been met, because childcare facilities do operate on a different set of rules, and we do understand that the safety of the children is definitely the top priority for us. But now I'm going to hand it back to Jack to speak a little bit more on the finances.
Thank you, Chris. Spark Adventure Care is set to be cash flow positive for all 5 years of our operations. In addition to this, our first 4 years of operations, we have 2 main streams of income. One via our summer camp program, and the other via our traditional daycare hours. As expressed on this graph, we add a 3rd stream of income via our fall care expansion location in year 5. Now here's Morgan Jenkins to talk more about our day-to-day operations.
Thank you. So we will be providing a variety of workshops. These will be held Tuesdays and Thursdays. So local business owners and instructors will come into our facility to teach trades, skills, and hobbies. These will include drama, carpentry, self-defense, rock climbing, music theory, and horticulture. So Jack will now pass out our weekly newsletter to you. But basically, parents will be getting this weekly, and it will allow them to not only see our snack schedule, but it will allow them to see what our weekly workshop is so they know what their child is participating in. At Spark, we believe that your children can accomplish more than what they're given credit for. On the next slide, you'll see a video of a young girl doing Taekwondo at Mount and Kim Martial Arts, one of the businesses that has already agreed to partner with us and put on workshops at our facility. As you can see, children want to grow their skill sets, they need the opportunities. On the next slide, you will see a video of a young boy in the garden planting seeds. We know that there are many children in the community that share these interests, and we're excited that we're providing them the opportunities to develop their interests and find their passions. We will also be providing tutoring. So there are so many benefits of tutoring. We will be having it Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It can help children create better study habits. It can help them prioritize deeper learning, help them with better academic performance, and it also teaches them responsibility, which is one of our core Spark values. But most importantly, it allows for parents and guardians to have quality time with their children at night, and that's what's really important to us. We will also be providing transportation. Now, 4 of the elementary schools in our area have already agreed to drop off at our facility on the daily. For the other 2, we will be using 2 15-passenger Econoline vans to transport the children to our facility from Emerald Hill and Yowell. It's important to us that parents know that we do prioritize their child's safety and that they are precious to us. With that being said, we know that safety is important. And that is why our employees will have to go through many trainings and receive many certifications before they even start working with your children. Now, this list is only a few of them. There's a longer list in our plan, but they will be receiving background and DMV checks. They'll be going through first aid and CPR certification. They'll be doing child abuse and neglect training, as well as getting their Child Development Associate credential, which is very important in being a licensed facility. Now, I will pass it off to Trey Spiller with competition.
Thank you, Morgan. Spark Adventure Care has several main competitors in Culpeper. These competitors include KinderCare, the CDC, and Kids Central. All of these businesses offer elementary care. However, our business is unique in the sense that only the CDC and KinderCare offer transportation, and only Kids Central offers summer enrichment programs. Spark also offers hands-on workshops in our makerspace area. We provide tutoring for the children, and we bring in local business owners who can provide these kids with new hobbies and skill sets. Spark's after-school care will be priced at $150 a week per child. Any additional children in the same family will be added on at a reduced rate, as displayed in the screen behind me. Spark's all-day care, which will be held on teacher workdays, snow days, and over summer break, will be priced at $225 per week. And again, children in the family with more than one child will be added on at a reduced rate. Our rate is justified because tutoring and extracurriculars are expensive, but our program's all-inclusive, so the customers are paying for it in their standard rate. And any hardships that parents face, we will help work with them on a case-by-case basis. We plan to capture 4% of the market in Culpeper. We plan to target parents in their early to late 30s, healthcare officials, and educators with young children. We believe that under this customer base, our business will thrive here in Culpeper. And now to Bryce Clayette with advertising.
Thank you, Trey. We will be advertising our business every year at the Culpeper Fest and Business and Industry Education Fair. We also have a website where parents can go to get their questions answered and find out further information about our business. We also are using social media such as Instagram, Facebook, Hootsuite, and LinkedIn to further market our business and reach a wider audience. Here are some endorsements for people who support Spark Adventure Care, and some quotes from parents who talk about the lack of childcare in Culpeper, Virginia. Ainsley Crockrell says, "Currently, Culpeper County does not have many options for childcare. My children have been on a wait list for facility childcare since they were born. My oldest is now 3 years old and she is 4th on the list for preschool, so we are hopeful she will be able to attend next year." And this next quote is from the CDC Director, Amy Martin, and our biggest competitor. "I wish you guys were not just doing this as a project. If you were actually doing this, it would not even be a competition, because there's such a large need for quality childcare in our community." And back to Chris.
Thank you, Bryce. Now here's a quick video from a few local leaders that helped support us and wanted to be involved in our presentation.
According to the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study, or the ACE study, which was a partnership between the Centers for Disease Control and Kaiser Permanente that studied 18,000 individuals, the #1 cause of adult onset mental health, physical health, and social issues was having experienced chronic stress in childhood. So the #1 cause, think about that. All of the kids and all of the families that live in chronically stressful situations that are living in survival mode and the impact that has on children. So how do we prevent that? Well, we invest in measures that mitigate the impact of that chronic stress. One of those things is early childhood education and effective and engaging daycare.
Our county is in desperate need of enrichment activities for our children. Spark is going to provide opportunities for our children in our county to explore and enrich their lives. So many wonderful opportunities as they work with businesses to, again, provide opportunities, activities for our children.
Hi, I'm Lisa Ann Groves, the librarian at Easterview High School, and I'm a big believer in the power of makerspace. Children are natural makers. Teachers and caregivers have been providing opportunities to create, design, and build long before it was ever labeled makerspace. A makerspace is a unique environment that encourages tinkering, play, and open-ended exploration and allows children to go deep into their learning. When we allow children to have these creative, open-ended experiences, we're helping them to develop problem-solving and critical thinking skills. I like to say, if you can think it, you can make it.
Now, I must admit, we did not foresee the audio to be that low, so I will go ahead and give a summary of what just happened. So the first one was Jamie Clancy, and she was speaking on the need of childcare and how the impact that how children are brought up has a big impact on all the future generations. The second video was from Ms. Anella, who spoke on the need of it in the community itself and how we are lacking the proper facilities. And the last video was from our librarian, Mrs. Groves, who spoke on the fact that makerspaces will allow students to just be more creative. I'm sorry about that. As you guys can see, the need is there. At Spark Adventure Care, we aim to be a pillar in the community. We understand that the impact that we will have right now will impact the future generations of Culpeper students. With the help of your investments, we could get forward with this project, and we are ready to answer any questions you may have now. Thank you, guys.
All right, great job. Also, great job recovering from the audio issues. You know, a lot of times with a leadership team, a management team, and a CEO like yourself, these things we look for because issues will come up, and you know how you react to them is important. Great job. I read through the business plan and, of course, just listened to your presentation. I think from a demand perspective, there's no doubt. If you open this up, it would fill up. As soon as you opened it, you would have 100% capacity. The need is there. Just probably the wait lists from the other schools could easily fill your capacity. So my questions aren't really going to be around that. I thought transportation was a good thought. Good job there. Here's my question. And we would have never thought to ask this question a couple of years ago, and we would have never expected contingency plans to be in a business plan a few years ago. But what would your plan be in another pandemic scenario? And should that be in your business plan for us, the potential investors, to evaluate?
We are so glad you asked that question, and you won't believe it. All the past times we've done this same, like in front of judges, they've asked the same exact question. So what we look at is the ratio of adults we need to students. So currently for elementary age, it's a 10-to-1 ratio. So if you look at our finances, we have 10 employees, but we do understand that they might be out for COVID or they might be out for other reasons. And our first thing that we would do is, first of all, our COO would start stepping in and doing some of the roles. But we also have a team of 5 members here, and we understand that we're a local business, so we're not going to be stuck in the office all day. We do want to be involved with the kids. So that's the first thing we'll do. Morgan, if you want to speak anything more on that.
Yeah, and even though our first year we will only have 100 kids, so we're planning for 10 of our regular employees, we do have more on our payroll. So even though there may only be 10 in the facility per day, we have staffed more.
Again, very well written plan. Really like the detail that y'all went to both in the plan and your presentation, and also kudos on the cost benefit analysis of renting versus buying. I thought you did a very good job there and well developed plan there. My question a little bit is on your promotions strategy. You talked about going through social media and participating in annual events. Looking at that, how are you going to reach some of the folks that may not be participating in that? Maybe their work schedule, if they're an out commuter, does not allow for that. How would you look at promoting yourself a little bit more to those folks that you wouldn't see at those events?
Yeah, that's a good question. So one of the things we did when actually creating this business plan was we talked to our biggest competition. And so when talking to CDC, we realized that they actually don't do any marketing. They actually just rely on a customer base that will recommend them for the future generations. So we've never seen a CDC advertisement, and I understand I understand what you're saying, and I think that we would basically rely on a word-to-word situation, but we also do want to hit that younger generation of parents. That's why we're also doing that. But Jack can speak a little bit more.
Yeah. Also, if I might add, one way we are going to go about doing that is we're going to contact all the local elementary schools. We already contacted several of the principals, and hopefully we will be able to get them to send something out. Also, we may consider, because we have a good relationship with CDC and Miss Amy Martin, so we might consider reaching out to them and taking on some of their wait list if they'd be okay with that.
You guys have done a great job of developing the plan and presenting it. It's very, very impressive and well thought out. Oftentimes when you look at programs or initiatives, you do a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and certainly we know the strengths, and we've seen some of the opportunities. What would you consider to be your weaknesses and threats to this particular program or initiative?
So one of our main weaknesses is, this isn't for like our actual operations, it is one of the big weaknesses that we've considered, is we will have a larger debt ratio because we're purchasing the building. That's probably our largest like weakness, but we believe, because with our projections, it'll be cheaper than actually renting, and we will be, with our current demand, we will be able to meet the main payments. And also, another weakness for our operations is obviously, as you mentioned earlier, if there is another pandemic situation, how will we go about combating that? So those are our two like main largest weaknesses.
Yeah, no, that was a great question, because I feel like when we do business projects like this, we often just try to show the good side, but when we're really looking at the roots, we understand that there's a lot of things that could go wrong. There really is. That's why we really wanted to highlight that, and we wanted to create a strategy we could implement to actually prevent that from happening. But that's a great question. Sure.
Any threats other than the pandemic, which we hope is not?
So one current, I wouldn't say this is necessarily a threat, it just makes us more niche, is we don't have full day operations during the school year. We're primarily an after school program, and most of our competitors do have that.
Great presentation. I love the color coordination too. So good job. One of the questions I had was about your projections of kids in the program. Did you consider the times when a child or family had left and it takes time to fill it up? I mean, didn't see any consideration of the vacancies that are bound to happen.
So we did not focus on vacancies a lot, I will say that. We do know because there's such a big wait list, and our wait list could probably fill the whole first year, like we said, and because of the amount of kids that we know need it, we don't believe we'll have many vacancies. However, we also know that we are marketing to teachers, and throughout the summer, some of those teachers don't actually want their kids in our program. So we have talked about having them pay a small fee to just hold the spot. So there's still some money coming in, but it won't be like their weekly payment of $150.
Also, if I might add, Kids Central, KinderCare, and the CDC, none of them operate with any real vacancy for a long period, extended period of time. So I don't believe we'll run into that issue.
Thank you for the question.
I liked your idea of carpentry. You may want to add electricians and plumbers to it. There's quite a market we could give you there. I'd like to talk about your employees that you've got coming on board. You've got a pretty large staff, and knowing how difficult it is to hire people and retain them, I think you're under that cost a little bit, and I kind of wondered what you thought about that. And then your summer program is run 5 days a week, 12 hours a day, which is a 60-hour work week, and you'd have overtime that would be paid for 20 hours of that. I wondered if you took that into consideration.
Yeah, and we definitely did. The labor issue is something that goes around for all businesses, but our main way to combat that was that we would be providing for all the training that they need. Also, we would be targeting the high schools itself because they do offer child development courses. So a lot of high schoolers do need jobs out of college, or out of high school, I'm sorry. And we would be really wanting to target those guys. And we'd also, for the other question you had about the summer program, we will have less students on those summer programs, so the amount of employees we have for our regular programs will also be able to cover the, so now you mentioned we have the 60-hour work.
Additional staff.
Yeah, so we'll have a less student ratio, so we could have employees be more alternating over the summer.
Also, if I might add, we are offering, we're paying our employees well above minimum wage. We're starting them off with $18 an hour, which is relatively high, and we believe that's a competitive rate where we will be able to compete, and we're also giving them annual raises.
But you have an overtime component that's half-time for 20
Uh-huh. So we have, like the first year, for example, we have 10 staff members on hand working at a single time, but we also have additional staff members on staff, so it's not all 10 workers working the 60 hours a week. Okay. And if they do, they will be paid overtime.
So great job, both the presentation and what you have in the materials, your marketing things. I love any business plan that had the word oligopoly in it. I did read it, so I'm like, oh, interesting. So the one thing that I thought was a distinguishing feature was the tutoring. So how do you measure success of the tutoring, and how are you going to be using that in your go-forward marketing?
So I think a lot of the way that we would measure success is by the parents, actually. So with kindergarteners, maybe they don't have tons of homework, but they're also learning how to read and they're learning phonics, and that's what a lot of the tutoring can help for. And I think when parents come to us, they'll sort of become some of our endorsements in the community, being like, hey, like my child really did get better at their reading in this facility. And I think parents will really be the main marketing for the tutoring.
And I think that's a great point. So in my business plan, or in our business plan, we actually talked about the lack of where Culpeper County is in the reading department, and what we're planning on doing for the SOL students, the age 3rd grade or higher, we were planning on having tests to see where they start at and then see where they end at, so we could get them to that level that we want them to be at, and we could get Culpeper County stats a little bit higher.
Appreciate it. I have one question. Can you define oligopoly?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, you don't have to. Yeah, I'm teasing. Completely kidding. Very impressive. My question is really around organizational culture. So it has to do with you as a company, and it's. Let me just explain this first, and that is, I believe that we're living in a culture where it's a tattletale culture, and so people can pick up their phones, and instead of oftentimes helping, they want to tell. And so you're in an environment where you're caring for kids, which means you have a high probability of the real challenge of taking care of children is not children, it's their parents.
Yep.
And so can you tell me how you as an organization from a public relations perspective were responding to the inevitable annoyed parent who is going to tattle on you in social media, and how you plan to respond to that?
So I think we're going to let our body of work speak for ourselves, because from the beginning of us opening our business, we want to show the community that we are a strong, and like we want like the kids that we send out into the community to know, like, how am I trying to say this? Take it. I don't know how I was trying to say it.
Okay.
It came out better.
So that's a good point.
We all feel that one.
That's actually a great point, and PR is a huge thing. We've seen, I'm not sure if you guys seen the news, but there's been incidents like, I'm not sure if it was North Carolina, where like child care workers have been just straight up abusive to students or to children, right? And that's something that we do not encourage, and that is not part of our culture. Also, that's where our chief brand officer and our chief marketing officer do step in. They are in charge of PR and making sure that like Bryce is in charge of having that relationship with the community. We understand we want to be on Facebook Moms, we want to do all these things, right? So we want to have this connection with all these parents. And so we do have like on our executive staff, Jack will be on finances, but we do have 2 people that will be really focused on making sure that what we are as Spark is more of a culture thing and also a child care. We want to make sure that parents know that what we represent as in the community.
Thank you, Spark Adventure Care. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hands on Plants.
Good morning, judges. Buenos días, jurado.
Guten Morgen und herzlich willkommen.
Or should we say, welcome back. We all just got back from spring break. The flowers are blooming, trees' leaves are sprouting, and plants are being grown. It's a really exciting time for all plants. But unfortunately, not exciting for all plants. We were walking down C-Tech this morning getting excited and preparing to present to you all, but we spotted a few plants that didn't look so well. They look poorly treated, unhealthy, and just abandoned. Now, you're probably thinking, man, does my plant look like that? Well, it's really common for a lot of plants to look like this. Many people have many distractions in their life where they tend to forget to water them, or they just don't know how to properly treat them. But don't worry, we have came up with a fabulous solution to help your houseplants live the longest and fullest life possible. So meet us, Hands on Plants.
Good morning. My name is Rafaela Alpaca. I am the CEO and Chief Operations Officer. I am in charge of the day-to-day operations and the operational plan. I also contact our manufacturers and suppliers to make sure everything runs perfectly. Here you go, Emily.
Thank you, Rafaela. My name is Emily Evans. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer. I'm in charge of promoting our product to the correct and appropriate audience. I'm in charge of all the social media, as well as making sure all of our marketing strategies are planned accordingly to our calendar. And here's Finn.
Hello, my name is Finn Steffen. I'm the Chief Financial Officer, and I'm making sure that all the numbers are right and that our company is making profit at the end of the year.
So let's take an overview of our product. First, as you see on the left-hand side, is the plant. And you see a small orange circle. That's hop.
HOP has 3 components that measure in the plant. 1 being pH level that measures in the soil, 2, soil moisture, and lastly, sunlight. Those 3 components get carried over to the app, as you can see on the right-hand side. And those 3 components, you can actually look and record everything that's going on so you know exactly how your plant's doing. So let's take a closer look at each one. So HOP. If you refer into your small black pouch, we actually provided each and every one of you with your own HOP. HOP is a 5.5-inch device. Again, it measures pH in the soil with the soil moisture as well as sunlight. It is operated by a microchip and a Wi-Fi chip. The solar panel does measure sunlight, the device is water resistant, and there are optional designs, which means you can have the ladybug, the sun, or the water droplet. We also do have a USB charging port, which means that this is a rechargeable battery. It is a lithium-ion battery, which has 500 charging cycles. So here's the layout of how our app will look like. So you might be wondering, how do you activate your HOP? Well, there's actually 2 ways. The first thing that you have to do is download your app in the Google Play or App Store called HOP. The first way to activate your HOP will be by syncing the device to the back of your phone, or you can type the activation code from your directions, read it in English, Spanish, and German. As you see the camera scanner. Then by clicking on the plus sign at the right-hand corner, you'll be able to add your plant. In this case, we chose Brothers Cacti. You'll be able to name your plant however you want to. Then you will use the camera scanner to scan your whole plant, and the USDA plant database will give you all the information you need to save your plant. Then you will choose the type of soil you have, and we chose spotting soil. As you see the soils that you can type in. Then you will click Save. And after, in the future, if you want to know more about your plant or the condition of your plant, you can type in the home screen, the Brothers Cacti plant, and it will give you the whole condition about your plant. And it's that easy.
So, what are we asking for? We're asking for $280,000 for 20% shares of the company. But what are we going to use the money for? We're going to use the money for advertising, for our manufacturing and inventory costs, for our administrative costs, and our app development. So, what are we benefiting?
So as you saw on the first slide, benefit your plant, benefit your community. What are we benefiting to the community? Well, first, HOP's mission is to allow all houseplants live the longest and fullest life possible. That's our mission. But we didn't want to stop there. We decided to partner up with George Washington Carver Center. We visited this a few months ago, and we decided to donate 4% profit. They have a beautiful garden in the back where they grow fruits, vegetables, and plants, but we wanted to help expand. We would like all of that fresh produce to be donated to families in need because Culpeper has a really big thing with food insecurity, and we wanted to take a step forward in that.
So, as you can see again, we're asking for $280,000 for 20% shares of the company. As you can see in the chart too, we're gonna have an EBIT from over $70,000 in the first year with a yearly return of investment for over 5%, and this is going to raise up to the 5th year to over $1.9 million with a yearly ROI from over 140%. You also can see in the chart that you in venture capitalist would have your money back 100% in begin of the 4th year. So, what is our target market? Our secondary research showed us that actually 66% of homeowners are plant owners, and we took conservatively 1% out of these houseplant owners as our potential market. And we're gonna target the areas in our first and second year: West Virginia, North Carolina, and Washington, D.C. And we're gonna have there a gross profit of $248,000. We're gonna add up in our 3rd and 4th year the areas Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, Kentucky, and South Carolina. That's going to raise our gross profit to over $1 million. And last but not least, in our 5th year, we're going to add New York State as our target area, and that's going to lift up our gross profit to over $2.3 million.
So marketing strategies. How are we going to get our product and app out there? Well, first, as you see in the bottom right-hand corner, those are pictures from Battlefield Farms. If you take a look at Rafaela spent the whole afternoon learning how they water their plants and how they treat them. Well, that relationship didn't end there. We had the best opportunity to have a whole agreement and partnership. If you refer again into your black folders, you can find the agreement letter there. Now, this is from Battlefield. They decided and agreed with us that we would have 1,000 of our hops placed in 1,000 of these plants. Isn't that awesome? There's a promo sticker too that says this plant was treated by Hands On Plants, which means that this device helped make this look like that, which also means there is a QR code where you can scan our website and learn more about our product as well as where you can buy it. Second in promoting is social media. We actually conducted a survey asking what social medias were popular, and Facebook and Instagram flew through the roof. So we decided to create 2 accounts for those, and again, I post daily posts on those, as well as we have click ads. If you're scrolling through your feed or your Explore page, you can find our app or our product being advertised on there. And lastly, we also have an influencer. Her name's Danny Lucia. She has a great and appropriate age range audience, which allows us to do live streams and Instagram stories that can help our product get to a more wider audience. And we also have TV commercials. We did not just only want to focus on Culpeper or one part of Virginia. We wanted to focus on the whole state. So we chose 4 locations: Culpeper, Charlottesville, Richmond, and Roanoke. All of these 4 different TV broadcasters will be broadcasting our commercial 30 seconds once a week. And lastly, Garden Expo. This is a great way to be face-on-face with customers. As you see again on the right-hand side, you have our imaginary booth. You have our product and our app, and we will be able to display our product and app and demonstrate to customers how it actually works. Now, in the first year, we will be traveling up to Chantilly. Then we will travel up to DC. Next, we will travel to Pennsylvania for the 3rd year, and lastly, New York for the 4th year. So let's go ahead and compare with Hop. So first, the moisture meter. Now, as you can see, this thing is huge. If you put it in a plant, it's unattractive, it's big, and it's just cheaply made. Now, if you take a look at Hop is smaller, and it's still almost unnoticed, but it does more than the moisture meter. The moisture meter, as you can see, only has 1 probe, which means it only measures soil moisture. Now, with Hop, it measures pH and sunlight, which is just bigger and better. As well, moisture meter is dry environment, which means it can't be in any weather conditions. However, Hop is water resistant. And lastly, Hop is included with an app, which means you can be anywhere around the nation knowing exactly what your plant is doing and what it needs. Now, with the moisture meter, you physically have to walk up and see if the soil is wet and dry.
So another of our competitors is Happy Plant. As Emily stated, we measure the sunlight, pH levels, and the moisture of your plant. We also have a camera scanner. But the most important part is that we give back to the community. And as you see, Happy Plant only records water. So you will have to go to your phone and manually enter when you water your plant, and there's no device connected. So how do we make this work? Well, we team up with Artiflex, who will be making our product for $4.50. Then Artiflex will be sending our products, shipping it to our wholesale and retailers, which is Lowe's, Home Depot, Amazon, Walmart, and Battlefield Farms. And then you'll be able to purchase our product.
So customer service. In the first year, as the co-founders, we decided to take a step forward and be in charge of via email with questions. Now, in the second year and beyond, we did have to step up our game. So we decided to purchase a Jira software. This software is great for customer service. We decided to hire a customer service specialist. They will be working 5 days a week from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, the customer is allowed to fill out a self-help form, which means that there's a list of all different type of hypothetical issues that you could be having with your product or your app. As you select them, you will be provided to another screen, and that will indicate the best solutions that we've provided. Now, if that doesn't help, don't worry. You can just send us an email at handsonplants@support.com, and that way we can get your email within 24 hours to help you with your problem.
So as you see, Artiflex will be a manufacturer. But as you see, we have companies that are overseas. Why? Because it's cheaper. And 2 of our companies are here in the US, which is Light Emotion for the ambient light and iPic for the micro USB cable.
So, where and how are we gonna sell the Hop? Our producer, Artiflex, is gonna ship the product directly to our wholesalers and retailers. We're gonna sell wholesale in Home Depot, Walmart, and Lowe's. And we're gonna sell retail through Amazon. We need to pay Amazon a $40 fee every month that they store our product and deliver our product directly to the customers.
So what are you waiting for? Your houseplants go from this to this.
So thank you to listening to us and hop on board!
That was very, very impressive. I thought the business plan was extremely extensive. You obviously have done your research in a pretty competitive area, and you've been able to demonstrate some differentiators that put you above the competition. To that end, I would tell you that as an investor, potential investor, the Venn diagram is extremely effective. I think for me it was the most effective of every single one of the slides that you have, because it very, very quickly and succinctly explained where there is some competition and where there's some overlap and where there's no overlap. I thought it was very, very helpful. The question that I have for you really has to do with, can you help to explain to me a little bit more? Maybe I don't understand, and that is, each of the units, how much are they again?
Well, we sell them in 2-pack, 5-pack, and 10-pack.
So what if I have 60 plants in my home? How is that? Do I then have to pick and choose which plants I think are going to make the cut to live? Or is there a way to be able to get bulk pricing, or can I share them across multiple plants?
So you're actually able to use through your app unlimited devices. That means if you got 60 plants, you just buy 6 times the 10-pack and everything is working fine.
It's that easy. It's that easy. Don't. Thank you so much for your feedback and question.
So I had a question about your marketing strategy, and it was, when I look at selling through the big box stores and others, why a state-by-state expansion strategy versus you start here, find out where the Lowe's buyer is and the Amazon buyer, and go straight there versus the rolling up? If I'm an investor, I'm thinking about an expansion plan. If your product works, that might be quicker.
Well, we did want to just start in Virginia, of course, and just kind of expand up, because we did want to keep it within the East Coast. So we do plan whichever investors are supplied with us, we do plan on moving wherever they feel is the most popular within the Lowe's customers, as well as plant buyers and all that stuff. But we do plan on just staying on the East Coast and expanding as we do.
But you're going to be able, through Amazon and Lowe's online shops, to buy nationwide. So we're going to have this as a potential customers too, but we took just conservatively the numbers on the East Coast for having realistic number that actually going to work.
Thank you for your question.
Emily, you're going to have to take a deep breath when this is all over with.
Oh, no.
Believe me. I was interested that your endorsement, you started out with Chuck Jury, which said that was pretty impressive. Congratulations on being able to do that. Battlefield Farms, the contract or endorsements you have from them are very beneficial. Did you look at, when you sell to Home Depot and Walmart and those people, they have a tendency to pay you 90 days after the product is in place. Did you look at the cost of holding, manufacturing it, and having about 3 months without any funds coming in?
Actually, we have thought about this. So we're gonna use the money we have now and our manufacturer cost, that we're gonna keep everything up and right, and it's all in our financials, that we don't gonna go on red numbers, that everything is fine. Thank you for this question.
Very energetic presentation and very well done, so thank you. And he has 9 children, so the fact that he might have 60 plants it might be realistic. So, and it's only because he's good looking, but yes.
Got a little bit of flirting going on.
Yeah. So when I read this, the first thing I thought is, I don't know what kind of dirt my plants are. I mean, they're in dirt. That's all I know. So I wonder if you would somehow coach potential buyers to know what kind of dirt they have. Just something to think about, or soil.
Okay, thank you.
And then I wondered about your projection for the expense for the TV commercial. So you had said, I think it was $5,000 for 30 seconds. And how often would that run? I mean,
We plan on doing once a week, but we can move it up to 2 days a week or 3 days a week, but we may just start out with once a week.
so does $5,000 cover once a week for 30 seconds? Okay, thank you.
Very great job on both the presentation, which kept us alert, and also the report. And if he has 9 kids, he can spread them out. They can water the plants themselves.
We got you, don't worry.
So, but certainly in presenting a marketing plan, we know that the goal is to accentuate the strengths and the future opportunities. But we as investors, as sharks, we want to know also, what do you consider to be the weaknesses and the threats before we invest?
The weaknesses and threats as in
Of
our
your
marketing
program, of your
or
program,
of our product?
of your product and overall plan.
Well, with our product, we do provide you with everything that you need to know about your plant. With the USD database, it does tell you if it needs to be in this soil, if it needs this much water daily, anything like that. But it is up to the customer to do take those actions. And that is a fear for us because plants do die at the end of the day. But we have created a way to have your plants live the longest life possible, as long as the customer also takes those actions.
And the best thing is too, just in case, your plant is gonna die one day, you're just able to disconnect the hop from this plant and just use it for another plant.
First of all, very good job. I like the concept of working with Battlefield to put that into a plant to go into market. Helps get some exposure to the product for the customers. Really more my thought as I read through the plan and in your presentation is more some comments, less a question, some feedback. Going back to your marketing strategy, you may want to revisit some of the dollars you've allocated with your aggressive sort of marketing campaign with TV commercials and everything else. I think your budget is very light. I'm a numbers guy, so that's what I focus in on. So that's something you may want to reconsider or look at on that piece. Also, you talked about the influencer that you're looking at using, but I didn't see any reference to what the compensation would be to that influencer. Typically, they're paying a per story, per post, per something piece on that. So how are you looking at compensating to get that influencer engaged with your product?
We plan on to pay her every time she does post or does a live stream, and it wouldn't be like every single day. It'd probably be every 2 weeks or just trying to get more of the word out there until we really see selling increases.
All right. I really loved this. Not only do I need it, but I thought it was an interesting idea. Originally, I had a bunch of questions about the design of the unit and battery consumption. I'm going to leave that because as you were talking, I thought about more sort of market and revenue questions. So my first one, have you thought about, let's say we have 60 plants, right? And each one is in some different level of health. Have you thought about assigning an overall health number to a person's, call it personal greenhouse? So of my 60 plants, right now I'm at a 89. Did you think about assigning a number to overall plant health? There's a reason for my question, so.
As in, like, to know what your plant. Do you mind rephrasing that
Yeah,
question for me, please? Thank you.
People tend to try and overachieve, like in school, right? Yeah. So you want to get above a 90 because you want that A, and so you're working as hard as you can to get your grade right up over that 90 mark. If I had 60 plants at home, I'd be looking at that app all day long, like, oh, I need to water 3 of them. I got to get up over that 90. I got to be in the green. So I was wondering if you had considered any kind of scale or number that showed the overall health of your plants.
Yes, so we considering in the app design, back here, you can see up here the overall condition. We plan on making their heart colored too, that you can see it goes from green to yellow to red, that you can see the overall statistics and what condition your plant is in.
Okay, good. That's awesome, because if you do that, you can generate more revenue by gamifying this whole thing, right? So if I'm over 90 and I want to beat my friends, I can send them, hey, all my plants are over 90. Where are you at? Oh, you don't have hops. Well, here, let me send you this email invite that has a discount code in it. And then you've got your users doing your marketing for you. So that's one thing I didn't know if you had.
That is awesome feedback, and we would definitely consider that. That's
See, I'm looking for a job.
Be our investor.
The second thing was, did you consider in-app purchases? And I'm thinking like, hey, a plant needs repotting. Click here for $1.99. You can watch a video on how to repot a plant or how to trim one, or maybe if one dies, you can have a little funeral video for the plants. Like people will pay for this stuff.
We were thinking about it. We wanted it to be interactive, but with the target market we wanted to make sure it was simple and straightforward. We have thought about having a kids mode or something a little bit more interactive, obviously. And we did also talk about maybe having like, oh, your sunflower needs this type of soil, you can purchase here for $1.99. We have thought about those things, but we did come up with some other marketing strategies, but we 100% will consider them in the future.
Great job.
Thank you so much, judges.
Thank
Any
you.
last minute questions?
Hands-on plans.
Okay, welcome back. The scores have been tabulated, and very shortly we will announce the 2022 East Squared Championship team. Before I go on talking about a couple other awards that we do give each year, we have some students here that also participated in the preliminary competition. We had 10 teams that participated in preliminaries this year, and all 10 teams have done an amazing job. We have been blown away by every team, every presentation. So I want any student that also that was in preliminary competition to please stand and be recognized. Also, when we got started today, Randy thanked a lot of people, and a lot of people should be thanked. But none of this would be possible without Randy keeping us all straight on a regular basis. I think yesterday, probably 500 text messages went around between Randy Roque and myself, getting ready for today. Okay, the first award I'd like to talk about, can everybody still hear me? Is this working? Okay. That we don't announce the winners today because it is dependent on their final grade in the class, but I want to make sure you know what that is. It's the E2 Honor Society. This society was established to recognize any participant on any of the teams. These teams could have presented today or at the prelims. The team must have had 4 of the judges say yes, that they would invest in their business. In addition, the participant must have an A in their E Squared class. These students will be recognized at their high school graduation by wearing a green E Squared honor cord, as well as having their name in the graduation program. This cord is well-deserved and a way to recognize any participant that meets the qualifications. So an A, and again, as Randy pointed out, this class is a fire hose. So they've all done amazing jobs. The next award is the Coaches Award, or the Bob Jepson Award. We're going to introduce that with a video. Jason, take it away.
I'm Jeb, Eastern View class of 2013.
I'm Tiffany, CCHS class of 2008.
I'm Nikki, CCH class of 2002.
And I'm Roque, CCHS class of 1995. In 1997, leaders of local government, business, and the school system hosted an educational summit to address concern that Culpeper High School graduates were not ready for the workplace. The outcome of this summit was the formation of the educational nonprofit known today as Career Partners. Career Partners' flagship program, Entrepreneurial Energy, or E Squared, the reason why we're all here today, was launched in 2008. Since its inception, it has awarded high school entrepreneurs with over $200 and $40,000 in educational scholarships.
One of the founding members of the organization and Career Partners' first president was Bob Jepson, known to the four of us as Grandpa Kid. Bob was a successful businessman and community leader in Culpeper County from 1972 until his passing in 2013. Bob's wisdom, generosity, and tireless commitment to serving his community was in no small part responsible for the 20 years Career Partners has successfully served the students of Culpeper.
Every year, E Squared has presented the Coaches Award to those participating students who exhibit exceptional energy and commitment to their respective team projects and exemplify the principles of teamwork, honesty, integrity, leadership, perseverance, and confidence. In addition to these qualities, Bob was a visionary who always approached a challenge or opportunity with these lasting words: "How can I help?" He loved his family, he loved his community, and he loved giving.
We are proud and excited to announce that this prestigious recognition will continue to be made in honor and memory of Bob Jepson, our grandfather, who personified these qualities and principles to the benefit and success of Career Partners and E Squared. We congratulate all recipients and hope that you will help us carry his legacy forward. And now, Sandy Boone will announce the results.
So, family still very much involved. Roki, his daughter Karen, Jeb, who was at, I said, huh? Aunt Karen, and Jeb, who was actually a coach this year of one of the teams. So, the Bob Jepson Award is presented to a student whose pair of coaches feel the student is exceptional and very likely to succeed in the business world. The students must also receive an A for their overall class grade, and the students must really stand out. The students are awarded their choice of an iPad or an $800 scholarship. I'm gonna read the names of the students, so please hold your applause, because I want the students to come up before I read what their coaches have said about them, because I want you to be able to see their face when I read what they've said about them. And these are in no particular order. So, Michaela Woodward, Madison Smoot, Rachel Dillon, Brady Allen, Emily Evans, Rafaela Alpaca, Finn Stefan, Chris Patel, Morgan Jenkins, Jack Fleming, Tristan Norris, Michael Curtis. Alrighty, so when I call your name, I want you just to stand there front and you've already been front and center this morning. So this should be a piece of cake. I'm not going to hand you the microphone. You don't have to say anything. All right, so the first one, Michaela Woodward. Her coaches stated that she consistently took charge and kept the team focused and on time in a professional manner. Additionally, she was a positive force in the team when it came to preparing for the oral presentation, as she coached and encouraged her teammates through their parts. After the preliminaries, she also took the feedback to heart, graciously admitted to any mistakes, and was willing to work to improve herself. Overall, she exhibited all the traits of someone worthy of this award. Congratulations, Michaela. Okay. Madison Smoot. Her coaches state that throughout the semester, Madison kept her team moving forward, helping them arrive at decisive actions that would shape and solidify their business concept. In the final weeks of preparation, Madison stepped into even more of a leadership role to ensure the final details were in order. During the preliminary presentation, she was the anchor that kept the team on track. Congratulations, Madison. Rachel Dillon. And Rachel, if I'm correct, you had surgery like the day before preliminaries. And she was here within a day, like the next morning. So that's an achievement in itself. From the start of the semester, Rachel brought her real-life knowledge and experience to the team and took on a leadership role in every facet from concept all the way through to completion. Rachel has been steadfast, confident, collaborative, determined, and unrattled. She is a natural leader, but also a team player. Rachel was integral to the success of Fresh Forward in this competition. Congratulations, Rachel. Brady Allen. Brady has shown excellent leadership throughout the semester. He was always willing to help his teammates and put in the extra time for Culinary Hearts. Congratulations, Brady. Emily Evans. Emily also showed up to class ready to work and could often be found making to-do lists for her team to ensure everything got completed. She always brought energy to the class. Congratulations, Emily. Rafaela Alpaca, and I loved the way you said it much better than I did in your introductions. Rafaela could be described as a silent leader. She was always willing to do whatever she needed to help her teammates. She was always the one driving forces to getting the biggest partnerships for their business. Congratulations. Finn Stefan. I like the way you said your name better too. Finn was always willing to voice his opinion while always listening to his teammates. This led to the creation of a great and innovative product. Finn jumped right into the financials and took charge to make sure this product was viable. Congratulations, Finn. Okay, I'm calling out three. I want three of you to step forward at this time. Chris Patel, Morgan Jenkins, and Jack Fleming. Their coach stated that these three students have been amazing to coach. They worked hard, were dedicated, and truly excelled, going above and beyond. They took on this project as if they were opening the business in Culpeper for real. I'm lucky to have been a first-year coach with such an awesome team. Congratulations, Chris, Morgan, and Jack. Tristan Norris. Is Tristan here? I'm going to read to you about Tristan. You're going to have to imagine his face. Tristan, because of her leadership, imagine her leadership and consistency during the E2 this semester. She ensured the group was on task and on target with each step of the process this semester. She encouraged her teammates to be creative, to work hard, and work together. She was able to handle criticism from coaches and her teammates while sticking to the team values and product. Tristan embodied the business plan to take accountability and ensure proper editing and timely responses. We believe Tristan was a true asset to this team and is very deserving. So let's give her a round of applause. Michael Curtis. Is Michael here? Nope. Okay. We're gonna picture Mikey, as they've nicknamed, a natural leader. He delegated as much as possible and made every attempt to bring his teammates into the process. And to a very large extent, he was very successful. So congratulations to each and every one of you, to the two that weren't here. Much deserving, and thank you.
All right, so the moment we've all been waiting for. Can we get each team that presented today to stand up? Take a deep breath. All right, so first of all, congratulations to all of our teams, those in prelims and those who showed us today what months and months of hard work, dedication, and teamwork can accomplish. But before I announce the winner, let's give them all a round of applause. All right, in this envelope, which Randy has had for 14 years, I know Mike called her Miss Thrifty, and she is a little superstitious about this as well. I have our winner in here, as been audited by Ernst & Young. But before I announce the winner, I have a huge secret to unleash. This is a year that we've been working very hard to do a little something special to elevate this program. And our students historically have received each a $5,000 scholarship. This year we've, through the Career Partners Board of Directors, we approved an increase to $10,000 this year per student. So, I'd like to thank our board and all of those that really helped drive that. The catalyst was really the Path Foundation and the flexible funding grant that our organization received that helped really drive that initiative forward. So let's get a drum roll. All right, congratulations to our 2022 E-Squared winner, Spark Adventure Care. All right. I'd also like Mr. Heatwall, Megan Gray. Megan, come forward. All right, so our Eastern View E-Square teacher, Mr. David Heatwall. Our coach, Miss Megan Gray. Students, Jack Fleming, Morgan Jenkins, Bryce Collette, Chris Patel, and William Spiller.
Yeah, no, well, we definitely did not expect this decision. $10,000 is a lot of money. But yeah, this wouldn't be possible without the whole team. The leadership staff, everyone involved, all the prelim judges, all the finalist judges, all of you guys, everyone on the sides helping out, even Mr. Culpepper Media Network, right? Everyone involved is a big part of this. I don't know. I can't speak.
Yeah. I thought this, so we put in a lot of work, and I'm grateful that we got the team we got. I thought there was a chance we might win, so I kind of tried to prepare something, like just in case, after watching the various different conversations. We had a contingency plan on that too. So, first off, I'd like to say thanks to God, obviously. Thank you to everybody for supporting us. Thank you to the management team. Thank you to Mike and Chuck for creating this and providing us with this opportunity. Thank you to our wonderful coach, Miss Megan Gray. Thank you to Mr. Heatwall. It's coming home. So, gosh, so much adrenaline. Anybody else?
Thank you to the judges for the creative questions. Those were fun.
Thank you to Mr. Heatwall and all our classmates for helping us through all the whole process, and yeah.
It was a great experience. We loved this class.
Well, thank you all on behalf of Career Partners for attending this, and we certainly hope to see you back for year 15. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.